Achan. What a sad story. It's interesting that at the beginning of Israel conquering the land, you have the story of Achan. And at the beginning of the age of the Gentile, of churches, you have the story of Ananias and Sapphira. In both cases, God puts a judgment at the very beginning, which actually causes people to be cautious and to watch out for the needs of others, realizing that what other people do will affect you too. Well, there were three results of this particular sin. First of all, obviously, 36 people died. But also, you have that there was a general terror that swept through the people. These were not overly confident people. They were relying on the fact that there was a lot of them. But they themselves were not necessarily very bold, courageous people. They were not like other nations who were raised from childhood to be a part of war. And they were fighting against the Amorites, which were much more confident. And that leads us to the third issue. Not only did certain people die and the people were filled with terror, but it emboldened their enemies, the Amorites. You could just hear them after that battle at Ai when they went back and they were laughing and said, "Oh yeah, one Amorite can chase 1,000 Israelites away." They became overly confident, and you could hear the news spreading from city to city, like, "Oh yeah, there's a lot of them, but they're not much." So there were some really devastating results of this sin. Achan himself, there was just a few little bits of trivia that really doesn't mean much to most people, other than someone like myself that kind of goes to seed on this thing. He was a descendant of Judah. Judah had twin boys by Tamar. Perez was the one that the line of Christ comes down through. But his twin brother is Zerah. And Achan is a direct descendant of Zerah. And to say a bit of trivia, there's something else, the fact that Achan's wife is not mentioned. When it lists everything, it said everything that Achan owns will be destroyed, which includes his family, and it names his children, but not his wife. We can only assume that he was a widower and that she was already dead. Last bit of trivia is the fact that one of the things he stole was a Babylonian garment. Tradition holds that this garment was actually owned by the king. It would be something that he would wear. And so Achan saw it and took it. As I say, trivia that doesn't matter a lot. Well, when you go against Ai, you have to remember several things. First of all, this is a twin city with Bethel, the two of them together. So when it went against Ai, more than likely the people of Bethel came over into Ai and was fighting with them. This was a twin city situation. And again, the people are down at Gilgal, which is at the bottom of the rift next to Jericho, and Ai is 15 miles away, but 4,000 feet up. A very hard trek. Matter of fact, this is the reason why that they said, don't send everybody. They'll have to toil to get up there. Just let everyone rest. Send 2,000 or 3,000, and we'll just take care of it. That's because that was quite a climb to get up to the top of the ridge. The other thing that we know about the city, that it was burnt. There's only 3 cities that were burnt in this entire campaign. Jericho was one of them. Ai was the second one, and up in the north of the Sea of Galilee is a city called Hatzor, which is in the northern campaign. It's also burnt. But in this case, there were 2 fires, not just one. when the ambush came into the city of Ai, Joshua said, light a fire, set it on fire. Well, they're not setting the whole city on fire. It's just a signal. That was very important because they were said that they could have the spoil. They didn't want to burn it up. So they just set a fire, which was a signal that the city was on fire. And so the battle turned on the outside. The scripture says that later on, Joshua went in once the spoil was taken and he burnt the city. So they went through 2 fires. Well, after this experience, after they conquered Ai and they went north up to Shechem. It's interesting that the people of Shechem did not resist them. They were going there because Moses had told them, go there and ratify the covenant that Israel has with God. So when they got there, there's no mention that the people of Shechem came out to do battle. And that's the reason why is that Israel owned land there. It was in their records that this is their land right over here and they have the right to be there. And this was the land that Jacob bought. So they went to that land, which means that their water source was the well that Jacob dug. And that was the well, as we well know, that Jesus sat on that well and he talked to the Samaritan woman. Well, come back when we give you more insights on the story.